Longlegs is for sure getting a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the PR department. Then it also broke records for distributor Neon at the box office. So the big question is, can it live up to those crazy expectations that it set for itself? Lachlan, I think it's accurate to say that this was one of, if not your most anticipated film of the year. So what did you think of it?
I actually never had it on my most anticipated list, but it entered the chart very quickly once I heard of it. Well, its premise was exciting, and then on top of that, the trailers just did a fantastic job nailing everything that I wanted from a film like this. So I'm super keen to have watched this, and going into it, super excited. Coming out, I was very positive, but I had a lot of things that, well, not a lot, I had two things that really let me down, and that's where the narrative went, and that is also an exposition dump that the film did towards the end, which for me, as someone who was following the film, I understood what was happening, I got it, but for the person who was sitting behind me, who audibly gasped when that entire exposition dump happened, I realized that is who that exposition dump is for, and I totally get why, but it just made me feel like it was dumbing down the movie to a point that everyone who's watching can now understand it, and then going into that final part of the final act, everyone can kind of be on the same page knowing what's happening. Yes, that is going to happen in a lot of films that are weird and wacky and have a narrative that kind of bounces around, but for me, I think that Longlegs achieves its technical goals of being creepy and weird. Fantastic, fantastic cinematography, fantastic sound design, fantastic performances from the cast, everything that this film needed to do to have a really good visual storytelling element, really good creepy element with the audio, with how it uses particular sounds and how it uses sort of breathing and just sort of diegetic sounds that are just around you every day to just kind of feel creepy, just like floorboards creaking, like there was nothing there.
Mhm.
But floorboards creaking is just uncomfortable when you're in a house by yourself. It nails everything it has to do, but it just fails at the end for me with that exposition dump, and then fails where it ends up landing as an explanation as to why everything happened. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't, but for me, for someone who likes what this film is going for, it went somewhere that I didn't like, but I'm slowly coming around to liking it.
I feel like keeping up that mystery and not telling us what we feel like could be the resolution to something, that is it supernatural? Is it all in the mind of a protagonist? Is it a collective disillusionment? What is it actually? And not really fully answering that question often works to the benefit of like a horror film, especially thrillers as well. It keeps us on our toes guessing what is happening. And both of us recalled the actual like reveal something later in the film a bit earlier than maybe you're supposed to for what the film wants you to feel. But what it keeps up is that eerie feeling that like I felt like it was something creeping that gave me goosebumps, something that's like touching me from behind, something that you spot in the on the edge of the frame, something off about like everything in this. And it comes back to even Cage's performance that is clearly off-putting. I couldn't point to one thing that what he does that's creepy. It's like the collection of all of it. I was way more interested in the FBI side of it, the actual like uncovering of these killings, and less about what we, I guess, get from the central character and what she's going through. That's just because I'm a bigger fan of thrillers than I am of horror. And once it leaned a bit more into the horror side, I appreciated the tone, but not the narrative overall. But look, there's a lot to like about it, and I think it doesn't really oversell its own premise in the promotion. I think a lot of people are going to get in and not get what they expect and picture the movie to be, but that's just like because it didn't tell you exactly what it's going to be. That was great about the promotion, because you didn't really know like what the killer was and all of that. And I think overall it's a great success. Obviously, it made its money back plentyfold, and that's great to see. That like something unique here horror wise is doing well at the box office as well. It's one that also both of us really want to revisit as soon as possible because there's more to uncover, more to see. And I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5, a very complimentary rating here. And I definitely recommend you go see it as soon as you can.
Started high, went down to a 4, landed on a 4.5.
You can catch us talking a bit more about the film in detail and actually going into spoilers on this week's podcast. So go give that a listen if you want to hear more of that. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.